everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Wednesday, May 1st. I'm Michael Taylor, in for Bobby Higgins, who's enjoying her vacation, and why not? It's May Day. This is like unofficial celebration of summer historically, and they do a lot of military parades in communist countries. I'm not sure why, but anyway, it's May Day, and I hope you're enjoying it, and kind of a little bit of a kickoff of summer. And on our program today, we've got some fun stuff for you. We're going to be talking to urologic surgeon, Dr. Seth Cohen, and he's going to be talking to us about some of the concerns that you might have urologically for women and men, and some of the symptoms and some of the reasons you might go in for a checkup. So we'll talk about that. And then later in the program, we're going to be talking to Annie McCary, and she's with the African American Heritage Club, and we're going to be talking about some celebrations they're doing for mothers and fathers this month, and then Juneteenth for next month, so stay tuned for that. Right now, we want to tell you about a town hall meeting we have coming up, and it is going to be for United. They are going to be meeting. Their board is going to be inviting all United residents to its next monthly town hall. It's going to be next Friday, May 10th at 2 p.m. at the Performing Arts Center, Clubhouse 3, Room 2. So get out there and make sure you get your concerns voiced and get to the town hall. Hey, let's take a look outside, and we've got kind of the clouds. You know, the marine layers moved in. It's kind of the same thing we had yesterday. So we're hoping for some clearing. We have the morning clouds, and by midday, we should have kind of a nice clear out like we did yesterday, nice sunny skies. No real summer. I know it's May Day, but summer's going to have to wait. We were hoping for some warmer temperatures later this week, but it doesn't look like it's going to materialize. But hey, can't complain. Nice, cool temperatures in the 70s. You know, sunny afternoons. Not too bad for Southern California this time of year. I'll take it. A little cooler as we head into the weekend. Let's take a look outside, and we've got an interesting sunrise sunset shot for us. This was taken in Germany by Connie Barton, and she was on a bus, and it was raining, and she took it through the bus window, and this is it. Kind of looks like one of those modern art masterpieces. You go into a museum, you say, I don't get it. So there it is. I don't get it, but it looks fantastic, looks kind of fun, and I thought we'd put it up there for today. If you'd like to fool me, why don't you send in a picture of your own version of modern art, and I'll see if I can figure out what it is. Send those pictures, any kind, sunrise, sunset, whatever you have around town. Laguna Woods Village TV at gmail.com, and make sure you include your name like Gandhi did, and where you took the photo, just like she did as well, and we will put it on our sunrise, sunset segment. All right, we got a couple meetings to tell you about and one reschedule, and then when we come back, we'll be talking to Dr. Cohen from City of Hope. Stay with us.
I heard that ugly 6-letter word, cancer, and I immediately felt lost.
Our team of women's cancer specialists help thousands of women like Naomi navigate and beat cancer.
I didn't want to be treated like a cancer patient, but like a human.
Our advanced imaging, targeted radiation, and minimally invasive surgeries offer positive outcomes that are beating national cancer survival rates.
I've reclaimed the most beautiful 4-letter word, life, because I had City of Hope on my side.
And welcome back. We are joined by City of Hope's urogynecologic surgeon, Seth Cohen. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Absolutely.
So that was a mouthful.
Yes.
I can tell I'm having trouble with it. Tell folks what that entails.
For sure. So what is urogynecology? So I'm a urologist. My background is urology. I did a residency in urology, which is your postgraduate training after med school. And then I went on to do a fellowship in pelvic floor reconstructive surgery, otherwise known as urogynecology. Mm-hmm. And so that's really a combination of disciplines where you're treating conditions affecting the pelvic floor and the bladder and the urinary tract, mm-hmm. but also focused on female care. So women suffering with pelvic floor disorders more specifically, like vaginal prolapse and urinary incontinence. Mm-hmm. And so altogether it's urogynecology.
Yeah, because I think of that as an OBGYN, right? And is that most people think of that in those terms? And so is this new, or is this isn't very common to hear about?
It's not new, but there are nuances to it.
Okay.
So it's one of those disciplines that actually both gynecologists and urologists can specialize in.
Okay.
And so the tracks and training are a little different, but ultimately everybody arrives within this board-accredited subspecialty we call urogynecology.
Okay.
And so everybody's got a little bit of a different slant in how they've trained and what they understand and what they do, but all of our goals are the same: to treat pelvic floor disorders in women who are suffering with them and hopefully improve their quality of lives.
Okay, so if someone's going to you, usually the pathway would be maybe the primary care physician. Hey, I'm having a challenge. Do they go to urologist first and then you, or could they go directly to you depending on what things might be going on?
They could absolutely come directly to me. You know, most of the patients that end up walking, you know, through our door either A, have found us on their own, they've talked to their primary care physician and expressed challenges like urinary incontinence or recurrent urinary tract infections, and they knew us and they referred the patient. Some patients have seen other urologists and other gynecologists that have very important jobs but just don't specialize in this area, and have sent them over to me to help as well.
Well, how important is it to have this kind of specialty then? It seems like, you know, it seems narrow to me in terms of that, but is it really kind of affect a lot of people?
Oh, absolutely. You know, when you look at, especially in today's day and age, with people maturing, living longer, more robust lives, what we specialize in is quality of life. And so we want to give people the quality of life they deserve to live their day-to-day, to be able to go to the grocery store and not be wearing pads in their undergarment, to be able to lift grandchildren, not be leaking on themselves. And so more and more, our specialty is becoming even more essential to daily lives of people and the dignity of people. And so it is a little bit of a niche, but absolutely, when you look at a person's day-to-day, it's a very important of a person's day-to-day to be able to toilet with respect, so to speak.
Now, is your job, or the patients you see usually skew older because this is when the challenges develop as we get older and go into your specialty area? You know,
it's a pretty wide spectrum. I think the majority of patients are mature patients, you know, patients who are perhaps perimenopausal, postmenopausal. I certainly see women who are suffering even in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. So people earlier in their life, for various reasons, could be congenital anomalies, could be challenges with the labor and delivery process, could just be the way they've, you know, their bodies developed over time. So I certainly see patients who are younger as well, but I think the majority of patients tend to skew more towards a mature population.
Okay. Take me through a kind of a hit list of the top things that you see and the treatments that you can give patients when they come to see you.
Okay. We could be here for a few hours. No.
We're ready.
Yeah, absolutely. No, the patients that I typically see, and I kind of alluded to this, are suffering generally with urinary incontinence, so avoiding dysfunction. Perhaps they have a bulge or pressure in the vaginal area, and so that's a hernia of the pelvic floor, otherwise known as vaginal prolapse or pelvic organ prolapse. Some patients are suffering with recurrent urinary tract infections, where they're being treated with antibiotics all the time for symptoms of dysuria and burning with urination. Also help people that feel like they have to run to the bathroom all the time, urgency and frequency of urination, waking up a lot to go to the bathroom, feeling like they have to live in the bathroom to empty their bladders. So these are all challenges that we treat. And there is a very wide diversity of therapies we can offer. Everything from pelvic floor physical therapy to medical management with medications to surgeries.
So if someone thought they had a urinary tract infection, they're getting treated with antibiotics, let's say, and then they're recurring. Is that a clue that something else is going on?
It could be, and that's one of the important things is to evaluate and to understand what could be an etiology of this. Could be some sort of anomaly in the urinary tract, like a urethral diverticulum. Could be a stone in the urinary tract. Could be pelvic organ prolapse, so that hernia of the pelvic floor contributing to stasis of urine and urinary tract infections.
Okay.
And oftentimes it's just maturity, where someone's just aging and maturing, and the way their tissues are developing, they are at a higher risk for symptomatic urinary tract infections. And there's ways we can help with that too. There's preventative measures we can educate and prescribe that thankfully generally make a difference.
Okay. So where did you get your start in medical school, and then what made you decide to go into this specialty area? Because it's certainly a unique specialty.
Yeah, absolutely. I got my start as a North Orange County young man. I grew up in the North Orange County. I was a volunteer at St. Joseph's Hospital. I was a candy striker
Land of milk and honey right here.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so volunteered in high school as at a hospital there in Orange at St. Joseph's. Had a passion for medicine, really mainly enjoyed working with people and helping people. The science was interesting, but really what drove me was that human interaction and making a difference in someone's life. And was fortunate to go to undergraduate, find my way into medical school. And then in medical school, there's various specialties you can look into, and I certainly hadn't thought of urology.
It's not the first thing that comes to mind.
No, it's not the first thing that comes to mind. You're like, urology? You want to work with urine?
Sign me up.
Exactly. But when I interacted with urologists and urology, it's actually a very interesting field, generally using a lot of technology, usually at the forefront of technology, minimally invasive surgery. A lot of different ways we can help patients both in a clinic environment and in a surgical environment, so you develop really good long-term care relationships. So not only do you treat a patient medicinally, you can operate on them and follow them for years afterwards. And so a real great opportunity to develop those long-term relationships. Generally, the people that go into my specialty are able to talk to patients. They've got good interpersonal communication because this is a pretty delicate area that we're talking about, right? I mean, it's, you know, it's not something you generally will bring up with your friends. And so all of those really resonated with me, and I found my way into urology. Now, ultimately, in urology, this, as we talked about, urogynecology is yet one more little niche in that, and that's all about quality of life, giving back quality of life through reconstruction. It's a little bit of almost like doing a painting, and really trying to paint a picture of what quality of life can look like with various interventions to give someone back what they need to be a whole person. And again, that resonated with me. And so I found my way into the world of urogynecology.
Now, I imagine a lot of your patients have lived with whatever the condition is for a while because, like you said, people don't talk about it. It's not one of those things they like to bring up. There's an embarrassment behind it. So do you find that some of your patients have, wow, you've been dealing with this for a while, or I wish you had come to me sooner kind of thing? What should people do if they think they maybe have a challenge?
It is such a common refrain where someone will walk in the door and say they've been dealing with this for years, they've been in diapers for years, they've had pain for years, and they just haven't either A, verbalized that, or B, found the right person to make that difference, unfortunately. It's such a gratifying part of what we do when you help that person, and you know, within a few months they come back and their life is completely different. You know, I mean, someone that couldn't go out, couldn't lift up their grandchildren, couldn't go and do the gym and the exercises they wanted to do because they just were super embarrassed to have one of those very significant oopsie moments. And now they're hiking, they're doing everything they want to do. It's spectacular to see.
What are some of the more common surgeries that you're doing for people that are making a huge difference for them?
Yeah, so for example, let's take the stress urinary incontinence. Stress urinary incontinence is leakage that happens when someone's changing position, coughing, sneezing, laughing, moving. And so there's various surgeries we can do for that. One of those surgeries is placement of a sling. That word's a euphemism, but basically it means support. And we can do that in a couple of different ways. We can take a little sliver of the tendon from the thigh and do a tendon transfer where you place that tendon underneath the urethra to re-support the urethra. You know, it's like an autograft. We can also use a synthetic material, a mesh material, to do that as well. And there's a lot of great data to say both of those are safe, effective interventions.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of life-changing, right? People they're out of, you know, like they said, the adult diapers, they're out of those, they're able to pick up, they're able to laugh, they're able to feel free in those moments again.
Oh, 100%.
What's it like when the follow-up, when you come a week or month or whatever later and people are like, why didn't I do this a long time ago?
You know, you get a couple of different types of patients. One patient, you know, some of the patients are like, I'm completely different, it's amazing. Others almost seem a little shy to say that they're much better. You know, it's almost, they don't want to say it out loud.
Because they did it so long, they feel silly about having waited.
They're almost like, I can't believe it myself. So you almost have to coax them to saying, look how different you are. And their eyes light up and they smile. You know, I mean, and I want to be completely transparent. I wish every case was a success story. You know, we see some pretty sick, frail people. And how far we can take someone in their journey is dependent on a lot of factors: mobility, comorbidities, other health challenges. And so generally what I tell patients is we want to make you better. I don't have an on-off switch. I don't have a light switch. I can't make it all go away. But I want to take where you are now, and I want to make you better from where you are.
Are the accomplishments that you have with your patients, is that what, you know, keeps you coming back, gets you motivated, makes you want to do more? Oh,
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I'm fortunate to work at a wonderful institution with a fantastic team, and that's what drives us all. And you know, that's what makes the day-to-day worthwhile. That's what makes answering the calls and the messages and everything worthwhile is that moment that you described.
Okay, give me your pitch for somebody who you've experienced before, who's hesitant to come in, hesitant to make the phone call, hesitant to reach out.
Yeah, why? We're right here. You know, City of Hope, Orange County is literally 12 minutes from Laguna Woods. I mean, you could walk it on a brisk day. I mean, so we're so close, and we're really pretty darn accessible. There really shouldn't be a limitation. Everything we do, the people you interact with in my organization, they really care about you as a person. They care about making your life better. We don't treat people as names and numbers. We treat people as a whole person, and we're really here for you. And We can get people in for appointments fairly rapidly. You know, generally people are not waiting months and months to come see us. And that's really a very nice thing to have and available nearby. I mean, it's fortunate the geography works out quite well.
Right, it's terrific. Well, there's a community of people over at City of Hope that are there to help. You just have to ask. Thank you, Dr. Cohen, so much for coming in and talking to us about
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you very much.
You're watching This Day. We'll be right back with the African American Heritage Club.
When we talk about cancer, we talk about how we're going to beat it. We talk about the 100 million lives impacted every year because of City of Hope's discoveries and our team of more than 1,600 cancer specialists, all dedicated to ending cancer and giving you hope.
It's always a fun time when our next guest joins us from the African American Heritage Club, Annie McCary. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, my pleasure.
I think the last time we had you in here, maybe a couple times before, was at Delphonics, and those guys, they were a lot of fun. But we're going to talk a little bit about what you guys have going on in May. But first, African American Heritage Club, for folks who don't know what you do and what it's all about, tell us a little bit about the background.
Okay, thank you. So the African American Heritage Club is a social club. We don't do politics. We basically social events. It was started, actually, this year will be our 10-year anniversary. It was started by Dr. Fran Williams, who's a psychologist. She moved here and she saw all the club activities going on, and she just wanted a club that identified with her, that she could really identify with. So she created the African American Heritage Club here in Laguna Woods for the purpose of recognizing and celebrating African American heritage in the village.
And do you find like the folks who come around from here, they have their own kind of stories in terms of their heritage? Some who grew up maybe in the South, right here in California or back east, and they're just kind of different stories from different parts of the world?
Absolutely, and that's what makes the club so unique. You know, we all have different backgrounds for where we came from, but we have this common theme, is that we have a heritage. And the heritage includes the way we dress, the way we eat, the way we dance. All of that contributes to our heritage, not so much the location where we came from. So when we get people together talking about those, how they grew up, it's just really an amazing time.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of fun and an opportunity really to also learn about, like, how did you, you guys did this different, maybe in South Carolina than we did in New York and those kinds of things, right? And the kind of the variety of different ways that people grew up and kind of learned about their heritage.
Absolutely, and one of the nice things about the club, the way it is right now, is we invite anyone to come to our club meetings to celebrate with our heritage and hear, you know, some of the amazing stories of, you know, what African Americans have contributed to the United States. So,
right, in terms of education, science, and, you know, inventions and those kinds of things, right? There's a whole world that, you know, what didn't always make the history books kind of thing.
Exactly, and we shine a little bit of light on that, and we find that it's been very rewarding for people who come to our club meetings. It's been inspiring for people to actually join, even if they're not African American, because we celebrate the heritage, not our skin color.
What do you think are some of the stories that just aren't being told well enough or don't go out there enough? Do you ever think to yourself, why isn't this story out there?
Well, so ask me that question again, because I have a lot of answers for that.
We'll do that a number of times.
Yes.
So yeah, I think there's that kind of feeling, there's sense that every time you hear a story or something's brought to light, maybe a movie, documentary, new book, in the African American culture, a lot of people go, I never knew that. I never heard of that. How could that, like Hidden Figures, the movie, for instance.
Yes.
Like, I would never have known that story. I didn't know the background of that, but then that comes out, and then you go, wow, wait a minute. There's these roles that were played that were just unsung heroes of our times.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what a lot of what we do in the club. And when we highlight some of these figures, people really, really are motivated and excited because they didn't know. And because most of our history was left out of the history books. the inventions, like the person who invented the blood transfusion, the person who invented the ironing board, the person who invented the traffic signal. All of those are left out of the history books when history was being taught in the schools. And so you can go do an internet search and find out about them. But we highlight those at our club meetings.
Yeah, so it's an interesting, educational, you learn something, and of course, the social part of it too is a fun time. For this month, you guys are going to be celebrating mothers and fathers at your next meeting, right?
Yes, and we kind of combined it to make it, mother, father, heroes. Any hero, any person that has been significant or had an influence on your life, we want to honor them and celebrate them.
I think everybody has that person in their life, right? That maybe unsung hero, a teacher, a parent, another relative who stepped in or was there for them at a time,
Yes.
and we have along those journeys.
Yeah.
Do you remember any certain times in terms of your parents where they were there for me when I...
Absolutely. And I'm very fortunate in that my parents were always there for me. I didn't always agree with how they showed up for me.
Well, who kid does? What kid does? Come on.
Right, yeah. But I can see the value in that now, and I can appreciate my parents as being my role models and my heroes.
Yeah, my fiance tells a story about how she was went to college, she was partying the whole thing, and they said, "You are now cut off from funds and all. You don't have money because all you're doing is spending on this." And she said she was so mad at them at the time, but it couldn't have been a better thing that they did for her. Just absolutely cut her off, and she had to get herself together and get back to school and get into class.
Yeah.
And those things where you think to yourself, oh, at the time, oh no, they're ruining my life. They've stepped in and maybe made a big difference for you.
Yeah, I remember one instance when my son was preparing to leave home, and we had this talk, and I said to him, "Eric, do you know you're responsible for your own toothpaste now, your own toilet paper now?" So these kinds of things that, as a youngster, as a youth, we don't really appreciate what our role models and our parents do for us.
Right, all the little things, right?
Those
So when they
little-
come home from a visit from college and they start, all of a sudden all the toilet paper and then toothpaste is gone. They bring it back.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to be celebrating moms and dads, telling some of those stories at your next meeting. Looking a little bit ahead to Juneteenth. I know that's a big celebration for you guys, and you're going to come back and talk more about that, but give us a little bit of a preview of what you're thinking about.
Well, first of all, it's our 4th annual celebration, and we're going to be highlighting women who've changed history, African American women. And one of the women that we're going to be honoring is Miss Opal Lee, and she's known as the grandmother of Juneteenth. She's the one that collected all the signatures to get President Biden to sign it off as a holiday. So we're going to be highlighting her. We're going to be presenting an Opal Lee Award to someone who has done amazing work and has not been recognized, or maybe people don't know about. So again, women who changed history.
Now talk a little bit about what Juneteenth actually is, because it is one of our newest of holidays, but a lot of people don't really know the history of it. It comes along with emancipation, but not exactly on the day of emancipation.
Like 200 years after emancipation. So basically, Juneteenth is one of those words that June, the month of June, and then the 10th, Juneteenth. So it's a combination of words that celebrate when the people in Galveston, Texas finally learned 200 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. That's when they learned that they were actually free.
Not 200 years after, but wasn't it months after? Wait a minute. It was because the word of the emancipation it was a number of years back, but the word of emancipation got to Texas.
It got to Texas.
Yeah, yes.
So that's when they 200 years after that is when the word, after Emancipation Proclamation, that's when the word got to Texas, that they were free.
Okay, yeah, so it's an interesting thing. And nobody really knows the date. That's why we call it Juneteenth-ish.
Yeah, I think it was at 13.
Okay.
June 15th, 13th, 15th. So it's
some TH one in there.
Some of those T's.
So what's it like for you to kind of run this organization and kind of, and kind of see how it's changed and evolved and grown over the years?
It's been really, really amazing. It's been very heartwarming to be accepted into the community, first of all, and to be able to share the richness of our diversity and the richness of our culture, and to be able to navigate throughout this community with ease and peace of mind, and to be able to highlight just basically who we are and how we how we contribute to the tapestry of this community. So it's an amazing experience for me.
Well, Annie McCary, always good to have you here. We'll welcome you back next month. We'll talk more about Juneteenth and what you guys have planned from the African American Heritage Club. Thank you very much.
My honor. Thank you.
All right, when we come back, we'll be previewing the weekend movies. Stay with us.
Whether you are physically active, playing pickleball or golf, or have trouble with daily activities, Trishula is thoughtfully crafted with your needs in mind. Our unique formula can help provide relief when you need it most. Apply a small amount to your hands, knees, neck, shoulders, or any other areas of discomfort. Gently rub in a circular motion until thoroughly dissolved. There are no artificial chemicals, just natural plant compound to nourish your body. Endorsed by athletes, loved by all, there is nothing like Trishula Organics. Don't let pain control your life. Take action today.
Caring for your health shouldn't be dictated by what you can afford. At MVS, we are a family-owned business that has provided quality healthcare products for seniors in their homes for over 30 years. We negotiate on your behalf with top manufacturers to deliver low prices. We provide vital resources while staying committed to making the experience of getting medical supplies you need as easy as possible by ensuring easy online shopping and free shipping. When life is difficult, we make things simple.
Your smile is key to your overall health. Put it into good hands with Loberg Dental. We are restorative dentistry experts specializing in fillings, crowns, dental implants, root canals, and more. Come experience our exceptional care for yourself with a special offer for new patients. Your first exam and set of x-rays is free without insurance. Let us give you something to smile about. Visit drloberg.com today to make an appointment and get your free exam and x-rays.
We got some fun movies for you this weekend. I want to tell you a little bit about them. On Friday, it'll be A Year in Burgundy, and that is a documentary. The film follows 7 winemaking families in the Burgundy region of France through the course of a full year and delves into the cultural and creative processes of making wine, as well as its deep ties to the land, what lies within, and the rhythm of a year from vines to grapes to wine, and the whole process plays out right there on camera. And you get to see it. It's going to be at 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. with the subtitles because it is a French film, so it's in a foreign language. So it'll be in English subtitles for both showings, and it's brought to us by Pacific Financial Planners. Then on Saturday, we have The Holdovers. This is a really great movie. It came out late last year, up for some Academy Awards, including Paul Giamatti. It was up for Best Actor, and I think it was up for Best Film as well. It's brought to us by RadNet. It's going to be on at 2 p.m. with the subtitles, 6 p.m. without the subtitles. And it is set in the late 1970s. The film stars Paul Giamatti as this cranky and strict classics teacher in a New England boarding school who is forced to chaperone a handful of students and a grieving cook with nowhere to go on the Christmas break. And it really is a great story. It's a fun story, and it's very heartwarming, so enjoy that one as well. All right, let's take a quick check outside before we head out for the day. It's going to be, these morning clouds are going to burn off. If you're watching the afternoon show, hopefully it already has burned off for you, and it's going to turn mostly sunny. We've got the same pattern setting up for the rest of the week, really, and temperatures in the low 70s and upper 60s for the rest of the week. All right, that's going to do it for us here at This Day. Tomorrow on the program, Bocce and Social Club are going to be here, as well as the India Club, so stay tuned for that. For all of us here at Village Television, we hope you make this day a great one.